There's a ton of noise out there. So how do you get decision makers to pay attention to your brand? Start a podcast and invite your ideal clients to be guests on your show. Learn more at sweetfishmedia.com.
You're listening to the B2B Growth Show, a podcast dedicated to helping B2B executives achieve explosive growth. Whether you're looking for techniques and strategies or tools and resources, you've come to the right place. I'm James Carberry.
And I'm Jonathan Green.
Let's get into the show. Welcome back to the B2B Growth Show. We are here today with Eric Peters. He is the Senior Growth Marketing Manager of HubSpot Academy. Eric, how are you doing today?
Hey there. Great to be here.
I'm excited to chat with you, Eric. We are going to be talking about keeping the element of human touch at scale as it relates to our marketing technology. And so with HubSpot growing as fast as you guys have grown, I think you are the perfect person to talk about this. But I want you to give our listeners just a little bit more context as to who you are and really, what is HubSpot Academy for those, I think everybody listening to this is familiar with HubSpot, but talk to us a little bit about HubSpot Academy and your role in that part of the organization.
Sure. So I sit on the marketing department here at HubSpot. And HubSpot Academy actually sits on the services department, partly because historically HubSpot Academy has been there to teach our users how to use our software. It came about from that customer enablement function. And only recently have we opened up, only in the last few years, I should say, have we opened up the courses and the certifications to the world and really developed an online learning platform to really teach marketers how to be great marketers and sales reps how to be great sales reps. As HubSpot grew, we're always known for giving that white glove service of, a new customer comes on, we're there, we're a part of your team. We have a services team that is, world renowned at supporting our customers and helping them achieve, whatever they are looking to achieve with HubSpot. But as we reached 10,000 customers, 20,000 customers, we needed a way to scale that training. So rather than one-to-one training with individual customers, it became one-to-many training. So that's where HubSpot Academy sort of grew from.
I love it. And so one of the things that I want to touch on with you, Eric, and really kind of kick off the conversation is around this, really talking about why you think marketers tend to lose touch with the fact that the people on the other side of their marketing automation are actually humans. They're not just numbers. But why do you think it's so easy for marketers to forget that?
We're driven by data. Fundamentally, I think when you look for great marketers, you want marketers with really good analytical skills. And that can, of course, that's a really powerful, and you need to trust the numbers. And, it's great to have data-driven marketers. But it's easy to forget that, those are people there. The email that you just sent to 500 people, those are, normal people on their way to work, looking at your email on their phone, et cetera. So there's a balance that we need to strike between using data to analyze and report and measure and see changes in how we are doing and whether what we're doing is working. But then there's this, customer empathy. This feeling of, that's a real person. They have a lot of stuff going on. As a marketer, it's easy to think, our users are spending 100% of their time in our software, and it's, HubSpot is as important to them as it is to me, because I work here. Mm-hmm. But actually, the whole point of HubSpot is to save users time and to be a productivity booster. And, the less of their time they spend in the platform, actually, the better for them. Mm. So remembering that, your offer, your product and service is actually only a piece of their day is, I think, an important thing for marketers to think about. And
how is that in your role with HubSpot Academy? How has that mindset impacted the work that you're doing on a day-to-day basis?
Well, we're learning all kinds of things as we move into new regions and new types of users. So if you can imagine HubSpot Academy, when it was just customer enablement, we had a pretty clear segment. We had marketing managers with small teams at small to medium-sized businesses using our software. When we opened up those courses to everyone, suddenly we had, tons of students and professors coming in from colleges. We had people from all over the world coming in wondering why we don't offer these courses in the same languages that we offer the product in. Mm. Totally different. As we develop more sales training, salespeople are a whole different type of user. Self-education isn't quite as natural to sales reps as it might be to marketers who really need to always stay in the know on what's next. So learning from our users and seeing what their needs are and surveying them and having, focus groups with them, but also just measuring how they progress through the software. And, if it's a user from this region of the world and they're taking the course, why are they taking the course? There's that job to be done question of like, are they doing it to learn the topic? Are they doing it to get a certification to help them get a job? Or are they doing it to skill up at a new job and their employer just wants them to do it? And maybe there's a little bit less self-motivation there and more external motivation.
And so understanding why they're doing it obviously shapes the style of the curriculum, how it's delivered to them, and so on.
Exactly. And whether we offer a mobile version of the course or whether we offer the transcription, which has actually become quite a task. When HubSpot we have a whole localization team, and when we translate, say, an ebook, it's pretty cut and dry. Translate it, approve it, check it, make sure it all makes sense, make sure it makes sense in that region, of course. But when you are translating and localizing a course with an exam attached to it, you better make sure every single word spoken in that course matches up perfectly with the exam, because you're putting people through this emotional roller coaster of learning and then assessment. And it's a career, thing. It's so close to their heart. It's not just a marketing ebook. So they're going to get really frustrated and really angry if the exam doesn't seem like it's fair because we didn't localize it correctly.
Got it. Eric, I've got a question. We didn't talk about this offline, but I'm curious after you mentioned that. So I was just talking with Aaron Dunn at Snap App about interactive content, and he mentioned that when you create a content asset, be that an assessment or some sort of interactive piece where a prospect is putting in very valuable information, but the reason they're giving you that information is because there's something on the other end of that is actually beneficial to them. So be that, some sort of an assessment that tells them if their, IT infrastructure is, safe from a certain type of virus, they're willing to tell you, different intricacies of their company because they know that your promise is to give them an accurate assessment. He shared a variety of different examples, but do you guys think of HubSpot Academy as a kind of interactive content piece? Does it allow you to find out more about potential buyers so that your sales team can have conversations, or is that not really at all how you guys think about it?
To a degree, we don't. Part of our terms of service is not to share, any specifics about how you performed. Even if your boss is asking us how you did on an exam, we wouldn't share that. But we can certainly see which courses you're taking or which courses you've started and which ones you've passed and things like that. And our sales team is really structured and taught and trained to just be helpful. So yes, they'll call up and say, "Hey, I saw you, took that certification, and I'm happy to, discuss any points where you misunderstood something or truly be helpful." But it's not really a tool necessarily built for that. That's sort of just a side effect of having that data within HubSpot. One thing that we're working on now, as we built HubSpot Academy really into HubSpot, we have a team dedicated to this product now. And what they're starting to build are what we're calling modules or like little lessons where they can send you through a piece of the software and say, go, create a new contact in the CRM. And it'll actually listen to see if they successfully did it. So there's some, interesting trigger devices happening in the software where we can see, okay, are they learning? Are they actually applying what they're learning? And we structure our learning on this idea of the Bloom's taxonomy. Basically, it's like a Maslow's hierarchy kind of triangle, where at the bottom, yes, you can just regurgitate information. A level up is that you can, apply information. A level up from that is that you can judge someone else's ability to do that. So we're trying to move higher up in that Bloom's taxonomy to not only show them how to do something, but then listen and see if they can actually apply what they just learned.
I love it. That's really impressive. Another thing that you had mentioned offline, Eric, you talked about, as marketers, we're trying to recreate something that that should happen naturally? You gave an example of SEO and kind of the evolution of that. Can you explain and go a little bit deeper on that for our listeners?
Sure. So we used to have a SEO professor specifically on SEO, and then we had a separate content marketing professor. These two roles and these two topics really combined into one. Good content marketing keeps search engine optimization in mind, and good search engine optimization requires thoughtful content marketing. And what we're seeing at HubSpot is the evolution from being very keyword specific, focused on, which keywords am I optimizing for? Because, 10 years ago, people would search for a keyword. Now it's much more conversational and it's much more based on topics. So how do you create a piece of content that ranks for a topic rather than a keyword? And you do that by creating clusters of, pieces of content that all link back up. So you can sort of map out, I have these 5 blog posts that are subtopics that all link back to a central, what we call pillar page, that is, hopefully going to rank for that topic. And what we're doing there is really just, mimicking what should happen naturally. Articles about a specific topic should link to each other, and Google's algorithms are going to sort of judge the relevance and authority of those links between pages. And I wouldn't call it like gaming the Google algorithm, but it's really just structuring your content in a way that makes sense for Google's algorithm to read. And there's a lot of things in marketing that we do that way, whether it's setting up nurturing emails to be sent out when someone does a specific thing. We're really just trying to recreate that. I walk into a coffee shop and the barista knows my name and he knows what I want. And, that really good feeling of like, oh, this business knows me.
Yeah.
You can do that at scale by using contextual marketing.
Got it. Is that doing things like intentionally sending nurture emails that elicit a response that then tells you as the marketer kind of where to bucket this person? So, I've seen like Pat Flynn, for example, sends, one of the early emails in his nurture sequence says, are you an entrepreneur that just launched your business in the last 2 years? Have you had your business for 5 years or more? Or do you currently work for someone else and you're just looking, to start your own business someday in the future? And by clicking one of those, he can now tailor his kind of nurture experience based on those personas. Is that kind of what you're referring to there? That style of contextualization? Yeah,
that's absolutely one way. We call that the choose your own adventure email.
Okay.
It sort of elicits a response that helps segment them. There's also, though, ways to segment them that are not elicited by us, and just which pages are you traveling to in between, which page you initially landed on actually tells you a lot about the intent of a user.
Got it.
So pulling all those data points, which, there can be thousands of them, and sort of scoring them and using really thought through lead scoring to build sort of intent profiles for different types of users. That's really what helps guide the contextual experience.
I love it. Eric, this has been fantastic. This idea of keeping the human touch as you scale with your marketing technology, I think is so huge. I think it should impact everything. We're talking to other humans. We're not talking to numbers in our marketing automation platform. And so I love that you've shined a light on this idea. If there's somebody listening, they want to stay connected with you, they want to learn more about HubSpot Academy, what's the best way for them to go about doing that?
They can find me on Twitter at EricPeter0, and they can find HubSpot Academy at HubSpot Academy on Twitter or academy.hubspot.com.
Love it. Awesome, Eric. Well, thank you so much for your time today, man. This has been fantastic.
Thank you.
To ensure that you never miss an episode of the B2B Growth Show, subscribe to the show in iTunes or your favorite podcast player. This guarantees that every episode will get delivered directly to your device.
If you'd like to connect with B2B executives from all over the world, make sure to join our private Facebook community. There are some incredible conversations happening inside this group. To join, visit b2bgrowthshow.com/FB.
Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.